Hi, I'm Dan Zara, business reporter for the Austin American-Statesman and Statesman.com. Here with my colleague Lilly Rockwell. Lilly covers the gaming industry for us, an industry that is growing rapidly and changing. Game developers for years had gotten their money from publishers in exchange for the distribution and ownership rights of those games. But as the industry grows, as more money comes into it, venture capitalists are taking interest in it. The game developers themselves are coming up with different ideas. And we've got a workshop going on here in Austin bringing those two groups together, the venture capitalists and the game developers. How's that working?
So Rice University with the Rice Alliance has sponsored a series of workshops here in Austin, and the idea is to introduce kind of these two groups to one another, the game developers and the investors. And one of my sources described it as kind of like a side-by-side backyard barbecues, where they're each peering over the fence at one another and saying, like, what have you got going on over there? And so the idea is just to teach some of these basic business things to the game developers, like how to create a business plan, how to pitch your idea to investors. They don't just want to hear, I've got a really cool idea for a game. And from the investor perspective, they're becoming more and more interested in the online game space, specifically massively multiplayer online games, which is like World of Warcraft. And there's a lot of companies here in Austin who work in that space. And since it's a subscription model where there's a steady stream of revenue coming in every month, they see a lot of promise in that space.
Why was there never any real interaction between them before? Was there not enough money? I mean, what is it that's interesting about the gaming industry now for the venture capitalists and the money they bring?
Well, I think the reason why they didn't interact much in the past is investors saw a lot of risk there and not much reward. You can't tell whether something's going to be a mega hit or a huge flop. It's kind of like the movie industry, and they really shy away from that. And the gamers, they had the system set up with the publishers where they'd kind of write them a check, and then they'd go and create their game, and then the publisher would distribute it for them. And that was really working for the most part pretty much okay. What investors are interested in now is a lot of this stuff with online distribution where you don't have to deal as much with a distributor. And so there's a lot of possibilities with online distribution.
And it seems with that the game developers can keep control of more of their own product.
Right, and there's a lot of possibilities here for kind of retaining control of your intellectual property rights, which is something you usually kind of sign over to the publisher.
So you can keep your 7th level World of Warcraft orc as something you've created. Kind of nice touch. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.